Today we're going to be talking about TIG welding. If you don't know, I'm building a Mini Cooper R53 as a full-blown, crazy over-the-top race car. If you haven't seen those few videos where I've started the build, go ahead and check it out. It's currently in the shop right now, getting the motor all built with all sorts of crazy internals, and it's going to be rad. Let's talk about TIG welding. I have never TIG welded, and taking on a roll cage as a first project is ridiculous over the top. So I have started practicing on several other pieces. This right here, this is my day one. Doesn't look so hot. This is my day two. Not really much better. So I started looking around on what could I do? How could I make this better? Because obviously those welds aren't passing anything. If it's gonna look like that, I can MIG weld it and make it look 1,000 times better. But I really want to TIG weld this, and I want it to be super nice. So I started looking around and I found some cheater, I guess I'm gonna call them cheater hacks for beginners. The first thing that made a massive difference is I could not feed the wire to save my life. I don't know what's going on with my left hand. It doesn't want to work right. I can't figure this out. This, for me, ended up being the best solution when I was trying to feed the wire. Long story short, I found this little pen. It's made by Clark Brothers on Amazon. It's super cheap, but you throw it in there. It has a little scroll wheel, and you just scroll, and it feeds the wire. Now, there's probably some old school welders out there that are gonna say this is stupid or you don't need it. I'm looking to do whatever I can to make my life easier as I learn how to TIG weld. Another thing that made a huge difference was I got rid of the torch that was on my machine, which was just a standard 17 torch, and I got this CK torch. And this is really cool because the torch head is flexible. So it allows me to get in a much more comfortable position when I'm welding. This is something that I think is really great if you are a beginner. The next thing I did that made a huge difference is I got rid of my standard ground clamp, right? And I just threw a mag switch on here. This allows me to kind of anchor the material down. You can just twist this and it locks the magnet on, undo it, and it comes right off. Pretty cool. So those two things right there really helped improve my welding, along with this little TIG pen, right? Huge difference. Now I want to show you guys what my day 3 looked like, okay? This was my day 3 welds. Much better welds. Starting to get the hang of it. I'm understanding what's going on, starting to understand how to pump the foot pedal and make it look a lot better. Here's some more day 3 welds. Starting to get a lot better with the welding here, right? Now let me show you what day 4 looks like. This is my day 4. Much better. Still not perfect, but to get to this point, I've spent about 5 hours of practice time, okay? Now I want to show you one more thing that I think makes a huge difference. When I first bought some TIG consumables, right, some accessories, I just bought this little kit off Amazon. Turns out this kit really sucks. Doesn't do that good. That's just my opinion, by the way. I think that kit didn't work for me. I'm sure somebody who's very experienced in TIG welding, that kit would work just fine for. What I actually bought was this Furic Arsenal kit that I got off the Weldmonger website. Super cool website, really cool kit. And it comes with these very fancy cups, right? With these diffusers built in. This is a really big cup. This cup is called the Jazzy 10. And it also comes with another cup that's on the torch that's called the Fupa. I don't know who comes up with these names, but I kind of like them. These things made my life so much easier TIG welding, like dramatically easier. What I am gonna do now is I have some material cleaned up. I have a piece of sheet metal and I have some pipe. All of it is nice, clean metal. I've already wiped it down with acetone. I'm just gonna set these on here. When I start doing the roll cage, the plate where it gets welded to the car will obviously have a tube that ties into that plate. So before I start getting to more complicated joints, I want to master this joint right here. So that's what I'm going to be working on right now, and I want to show you guys how these cups are working, and you'll also get to see my first attempt of welding actual tube to plate. I'm going to just take this tube that I already have all nice and cleaned up, wipe down with acetone, and I'm gonna just put it on here so I can practice getting my weld. So this will simulate the roll cage tying into the car, and then I can practice this joint right here. Before I get to, you know, my day one, right? This is day two, this is day one on this side. You can see I had a lot of settings on the welder wrong. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. This is garbage, like not even good wall art. So if you're getting into this, again, this TIG pen that feeds your wire out for you, this makes a huge difference in feeding the wire. And you can see that those welds here are starting to look a lot nicer. I'm using a Miller Multimatic 200 and I'm using a foot pedal. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing tack welded on. And once we are tack welded in place where I wanna be, we'll go ahead and start welding. So again, so I was saying about this mag switch here, it's really cool. And just get it on there. Also, I don't have a welding table, and I'm sure a lot of us don't, but I just got a piece of 3/4 inch steel and I put it right on top of my wood table with a couple washers underneath it. Works totally fine, doesn't get too hot, and it will help pull the heat out of whatever it is that you're welding. Let's go ahead and do this. You can really hear the gas flowing out of that. And here's what I like about this torch. So it's gonna allow me to come around the backside because the head is flexible on it. And I'm gonna go ahead and tack this backside. Here's some other advice when you first start TIG welding. You're gonna dip your tungsten a lot, just like that right there. I like to just keep a bunch of tungsten sharpened up so that way I can just easily swap it out. I've been doing pretty good about not dipping the tungsten, but you know, it is what it is. So you can get one of these. It also has a nice gauge on it, so you can lay the tungsten on there and make sure your angle is right. So that's helpful. I have some that are long, some that are short. I'm using a shorter body right now, so we're gonna go ahead and swap this out because I just dipped this, and that is, you know, just a rookie mistake. I'm still learning, and the whole idea of this video is to share the tips with you guys that have really helped me, again, in 5 hours get to a spot that I think is pretty decent for only 5 hours of time. Wow, I am having quite the hard time here figuring out how to get in there. Yeah, this is why I'm doing this. This is part of the learning curve here, and that's why I'm doing it. Okay, so here it is. My first attempt at TIG welding, you know, a tube to a sheet metal plate, just like it would be in the roll cage, and it looks terrible. There's no way this is even close to passing any sort of thing that I would, you know, bet my life on if the car was to roll. So I'm gonna go back through and I'm gonna try to do a second pass and see if I can clean this up. Put a different cup on. I'm gonna try this Jazzy 10 cup out now with a little bit longer stick out and see if I can't get in there and try to get a little bit better visibility and clean this up. So let's see how it goes. So I'm gonna show you what I got here. This is my first attempt trying to weld 095 tube to a plate that would be at the base of the floor in the car for the roll cage. It's not good. You know, I still have a lot of work to do before I would be comfortable, you know, risking my life on this. I could definitely still do this a lot better with a MIG welder. It looks like maybe I'm having a little bit of gas coverage problems, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What am I doing wrong? How is this looking? How many hours of TIG welding do you think it takes before you are good enough to build a roll cage? Here is attempt number 2. Again, this is my first day trying to weld this 095 tube to a steel plate, just like it would be in the car to kind of simulate building the cage here. Not great still, but I'm improving from that to over here. We're getting a little bit better. So we're gonna keep practicing this. But these few tools I showed you, this feeder, especially for me as a newbie beginner, no clue what I'm doing, just a little bit of advice from some friends that know how to weld. Just one guy, Brandon Bannock, actually. Go check him out on Instagram. But that's really the only advice I have. I've never done this, so overall, I think we're making some good progress. Let's throw another one on there and try again. Okay, attempt number 3. went a lot better. Still not perfect, but for day 5, I think I'm on. Day 5. I'm about 6, maybe 7 hours in of practice. It's not perfect, it's still not roll cage quality yet, but it's getting a lot better. Something else I noticed, if you guys are working in a garage, I have a bunch of overhead lights all over the place. That light right there that I have covered up was coming in the back of my mask, and I couldn't see what I was doing on this one or that one. I was kind of guessing. This one I could see a lot clearer. And so just as a side note, let me know what you guys think. That's with the Jazzy 10 cup. Again, with that kit, that Furic Arsenal kit from Weldmonger. Pretty cool. Now I know that these are not roll cage worthy welds yet. But what I'm trying to show you guys is that getting some tools like this thing right here to make your life easier so you can stop doing that as much. A CK torch and some nice Furic cups will make all the difference in whether your welds come out looking like this. Remember, this is day 2. Other side is day 1. This is day 3. So we're getting some improvement. I got a long way to go. If you're interested in learning how to TIG weld, I suggest you get yourself some of these cheat code tools. They make a big difference on how your welds are going to come out. What do you think? Are these tools worth it? Do they help as much as I think they help, or is it just in my mind? Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one.